Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Stephen Hartley. Today we have a very special episode with two literature critics going head-to-head. They were each given a prompt and decided to argue. To enter, only one will win. Joe, what is the prompt for our contestants? All Quiet on the Western Front. Does the book or movie do more justice to Mark's vision? Well, you all know the rules. Both contestants will be given an opportunity to make their points. The winner will be chosen by you, the audience. Okay, it's time to play Friendly Feud. Contestants, are you both ready? All right. First question. What are your opinions on the film version of All Quiet on the Western Front?
In my opinion, I think the movie is better than the book because it utilizes sound, aesthetics, and acting to convey Mark's message in a clear way. The book can't use any of these mediums.
Ah, very interesting. So why do you disagree?
Well, I think the book portrays Remarque's message better with its use of first-person perspective, vivid imagery, and pathos. None of that was in the movie.
Very good point. And for our viewers who don't know, what is the message behind All Quiet on the Western Front?
The message of the novel was anti-war, showing how it destroys people. Something that is conveyed with the something that is conveyed best with the first-person point of view used in the book. Watching Paul's mental deterioration from his perspective makes the message of the book more powerful than just watching it from an outside perspective.
Well, it seems like you two are locked in, as the kids say. Kelly, this is your time to refute.
Okay, so the movie uses different aesthetics to set the tone of a specific event. For example, when Kenrich is lying on his deathbed and Paul is trying to get a doctor, there are quick movements, dark shadows, and neutral colors used. These three elements are used to make the audience feel various emotions such as worry and sadness. The book can utilize these elements because it doesn't have a camera.
Good point. Susan, do you have anything to counter that?
The movie does use aesthetics, that's true, but the book evokes emotions as well using pathos. If you compare the way the book handled Kenrich's death to the movie, you will see that the book is obviously better. Remarque uses language such as suddenly Kenrich groans and begins to gurgle, and behind me they are already hurling Franz onto a waterproof sheet. Pieces of text like this immerses the readers into the story and makes them feel for the characters.
Well, that concludes round one. We'll be right back after a short commercial break. And we're back from that short break. Alright, contestants, it's time for you to make some more points and arguments. Our second and final argument of the night, sound and imagery, book or movie. Which one makes the cut?
Well, the book uses imagery and first-person narration to capture the reader's interests and get detailed visuals of the characters and each scene in the novel.
Your retort.
The movie uses sound and acting for the audience to see the world through Paul's eyes. By hearing the sound and looking at each action that happens, the movie ensures that the audience will not be bored by the stagnant points in the movie. They would want to know what happens next.
Alright, now contestants, it's time to make your final closing arguments. Kelly, let's start with you.
The best example of the movie utilizing sound and acting is toward the end of the movie when Paul is carrying Kat to the hospital. The filmmakers use sound by adding large, booming sounds to create a sense of urgency. The audience would want to know what happens next because the sounds are intriguing to them. Paul's acting in the scene makes the audience feel emotions of worry and grief. When Paul is talking to Kat, he says, "When this war is finally over, then we can go somewhere together." This line struck me because it showed kind of how Paul knew that Kat was going to die, but he had some feeling of hope, which is kind of how it sums up the movie in a different way. And the book couldn't capture these things because it has to convey a message without the audience actually seeing something.
Very interesting, very interesting. Susan, you're up.
Well, the book uses first-person narration and imagery to convey Remarque's message in a concise way. For example, Paul says this line, "I want it all to fall from me, war and terror and grossness, in order to awaken young and happy." This line explains the overall message of the novel in such a way that the movie can't capture, especially because it didn't delve into Paul's thoughts like the book did. The use of imagery in the novel effectively shows the mental and physical hardships that soldiers went through during the war. The line, "We are not beaten, for as soldiers we are better and more experienced. We are simply crushed and driven back by the overwhelming superior forces," is used in the novel, and Paul strategically uses plural first-person pronouns such as "we." The use of this pronoun makes readers think of a group while reading this quote, not Paul himself. This use of perspective and imagery subtly conveys the message of the inhumaneness of war by making Paul's individuality fade throughout the novel.
Good point, contestants. Now it's time for the viewers to vote. But while that happens, we'll go on a quick commercial break. See you back in a second on Friendly Feud. Welcome back to Friendly Feud. The votes are in, and drumroll please. The team Susan is our winner, and decisively that once again, the book is crowned as the better medium over its cinematic counterpart. Thank you all for listening in. A special thanks to our 2 contestants for today. We'll be back next week with another episode of Friendly Feud.